On the day the world ends, a bee circles a clover. A fisherman mends a glimmering net. Happy porpoises jump in the sea. And those who expected lightning and thunder are disappointed. As long as the sun and the moon are above, as long as the bumblebee visits a rose, no one believes it is happening now. Only a white-haired old man who would be a prophet. Yet he is not a prophet, for he is much too busy. Repeats while he binds his tomatoes, "There will be no other end of the world. There will be no other end of the world." Warsaw, 1944, by Czeslaw Milosz. Welcome to Monday Morning Book Buzz. I'm Heather from the Bay County Public Library. I'm here today at the Lisenby Walking Park. Women's History Month and Climate Reads Day? Super day indeed, and I've got some great news. In March, the city of Marianna received a Pisces Award from the Environmental Protection Agency for innovation. Marianna's prize-winning project is the first solar-powered wastewater treatment facility to be funded by the state of Florida. And Marianna is the first city in Florida to receive the Pisces Award in the innovation category. How cool is that? I have the most interesting books to talk about today. I don't mean interesting in terms of infinitely boring stuff you really ought to know. Not at all. I'm talking about what the heck is this really true kind of stuff. 5 years ago, we thought that we would have to fight to maintain forward motion in terms of cutting greenhouse gases and reversing environmental damages. I don't think we knew we would actually lose ground, falling behind in our response, and right here in the Panhandle, experiencing firsthand a catastrophic weather event, just as it had been predicted. But now, knowing what we lost, and that we have nowhere near the chance we had 4 years ago for mitigation, I wanted to read this book as soon as I saw the title. Notes from an Apocalypse, A Personal Journey to the End of the World and Back by Mark O'Connell, published in 2020. I wanted to explore how people are dealing with the climate crisis, knowing there is no turning back. This is perfect. Mark O'Connell is a scholarly journalist, but not in a dull way, more like a nerdy warrior who will stop at nothing to get the whole story for you. The author explores several ways in which humans right now are facing the apocalypse they see, the end of the world as we know it. We're all actually living on the same planet, but what we see is uniquely personal. We know something is happening. The evidence is clear, but what we decide to do about it is wildly different. Mark O'Connell starts with his own life, a dad watching television with his son, feeling sad over the plight of the polar bears, and going back to watching cartoons. But he's wondering, as maybe we all are, should I be doing something? We hear it on the loudspeaker. We have a disturbance on the planet. Who is responding? First adventure, he gets up close and personal with the preppers. There are lots of variations on prepping, from the bug-out bag under your bed to the full-on shelter colony now under construction. Mr. O'Connell gets all the way in, visiting the most elite of the preppers in the enormous compound of underground bunkers in the heart of America. Here you can be as safe as your finances allow. You have to embrace an every-man-for-himself attitude, because there is an alternative sense of responsibility. Place your bets on self-defense, not on community. And for the ultra-rich, the whip-smart Silicon Valley type, entrepreneurs, live fast, live smart, duck and cover when the time comes, New Zealand is the dream scheme. Destination, apocalypse. Of all the places on the planet, New Zealand is one of the most habitable when it comes to the end times. I can't explain this. And the cost is over the top. But it is happening. A paradise waiting to be, literally, the last resort. But what if you can't just take the terror of living on Earth while catastrophic climate events rip across the surface and tear down everything we have built? What if you can't watch while the sixth extinction becomes too mainstream to ignore? Well, obviously, you will want to sign up for Mars. Again, it is expensive and treacherous in its own way. Mars is completely uninhabitable already, so the first colonists will face a tough homegoing. And if you want to experience what the afterlife is like, right now, you can visit Chernobyl. Right now, tours are available. People live in the dead zone. Some animals are thriving. Plants are growing. In theory, it will not be habitable for generations, but it is a new kind of habitat after the end of the world. And if you don't feel like visiting it right now, you can read about it in this amazing armchair adventure in apocalyptic tourism, Notes from an Apocalypse by Mark O'Connell. And what is it like inside the family of one of our champions in the historic fight to work with planet Earth? Trying to stop the breakneck pace of climate change? Our house is on fire. Scenes of a Family and a Planet in Crisis by Melina Ehrman, published in 2020. I don't have time to rave about this extraordinary journal of parenting and activist. This is a family in full-on crisis. Melina is a world-class opera singer, performing all over Europe, winning international prizes, and raising two exceptional daughters, one of whom is the world-famous Greta Thunberg. Savant, Greta's father, has got to be the most thoughtful, temperate dad in the world. Greta and Beata are the most unusual and dedicated climate change warriors you will meet in books or anywhere. Melina's voice, Beata's dancing, Savant's support, and Greta's incomparable determination and strength make this book a great read. Super interesting. Our House is on Fire by Melina Ehrman. I suspect your day will seem a little easier after you experience one of Melina's days. This is an extraordinary story. Our next Book Buzz Club is Wednesday, April 14th at 11 a.m. Everyone is welcome. Email me for a link. It's a beautiful day to save the world, so let's get out there. Thanks for joining me. I'm Heather from the library. Happy reading.